I'm Dan Waisner, and I have 4 downs to review Week 4 of the high school football season. First down, crossover Blues. The Nib 12 West went 1-5 against the Nib 12 East. That continues a trend that has been in this conference since it started 2 or 3 years ago. Through the first 3 weeks this year, the Nib 12 East leads 2-10. The wins coming for the West side. LP beat Yorkville in Week 4, 16-9. And Geneseo steamrolled Morris in Week 3, 42-7. Locally, it has been rough. Sterling was rolled by Rochelle 58-21 in Week 4, a week after getting beat 48-7 by Caneland. While Dixon has put up good fights against Yorkville and Morris, losing 24-14 to Yorkville in Week 3 and 38-21 to Morris, they still came out on the wrong end. This sort of imbalance is part of the reason it's kind of led to teams like Dixon and Streeter looking to go elsewhere. Second down. Old rivals. We had two matchups of traditional rivals in Week 4. Both turned out to be kind of lopsided. Newman beat Morrison 42-0, and Polo beat Milledgeville 34-0. At halftime of the Newman-Morrison game, it was 0-0. The Comets had dropped 2 passes that were almost sure touchdowns, but Morrison played physically on defense, doing a nice job against a tough Newman running game. But after a half, Newman scored 28 points in the third quarter. Jake Snow had 2 of them and 2 touchdowns, and Dylan Helfenfinger had the other 2 as they started to run away from the Mustangs. Newman has now won 2 in a row over Morrison, going back to the quarterfinal game in 2011, which Morrison won, and then eventually went on to win the 2A state championship. In the Polo Milledgeville game, it took a quarter for the Marcos to get rolling, but then they put up 28 points in the second quarter on TD runs by Ethan Ditzler, Brady Grobe, and Jeff Kimple, and a TD pass from Grobe to Brian Kavanaugh. That extends Polo's win streak over Milledgeville to 5 games, but more importantly, it puts Polo at 2-2 and keeps them very much alive in the playoff hunt. Third down, Starstruck. We had a Nick Williams and Austin Reaganweather in the EP Fulton game put on quite the show in that Three Rivers North matchup. That EP won 41-27. Williams, the area's leading rusher through 3 weeks, had 261 yards and 4 touchdowns. That gives him 724 yards through 4 weeks and 13 touchdowns, making him probably the early leader in the clubhouse to be SVM's Player of the Year. Lots of season left, and the Panthers play some tough games against Newman, Morrison, and Orion. It'll be interesting to see if he can put up those kind of numbers against those kind of defenses. Reaganweather had 201 yards and 4 TDs against EP. He's jumped up to 619 rushing yards total with 6 touchdowns for the season. The Steamers, however, have kind of hit a rough patch. After jumping out and winning that first game against Orion, they were in the 1A standings for a week, but they've lost the last 3 games, and it doesn't get any easier as they play Newman on Friday night. Fourth down. To touch on 2 teams, we got an undefeated team, and we had a team get their first win on Friday night. The Eastland Pearl City Wildcats just continue to roll. They beat NUIC Northwest stalwart Galena 46-7 on Friday night. Donnie Grosinger had 4 TDs, while the EPC defense continued to be dominant. So far, EPC has outscored teams 188-41, which averages out to 47-10 in each game, which is just amazing. It should get interesting on Friday night as they play powerhouse Lena Winslow, who's 3-1. If the EPC can beat the Panthers, and if Forreston can beat the Panthers, that could set up a Week 9 meeting between Forreston and EPC, and both teams potentially could be undefeated. That'd be a lot of fun to see. The other team we're going to touch on quickly is the Amboy Clippers. They lost their first 3 games, but picked up a big win against Riverdale on Friday night, 41-0. Injuries and graduation has decimated the Clippers rosters through the first 3 weeks. It'll be up to them now to see if they can turn this around and make a playoff run against a tough Three Rivers North schedule.